Hi, this is Lacoria speaking. Before I start talking about this stand test, I wanted to say thank you, all of you who have been watching this series of videos. I've had people in game ask me when the next stand test video is going to come out for Astral Reave, which being asked that in itself is such a nice feeling. Well, today I do finally have a stand test video made, but it just does not feel right at all. This test is currently unoptimized and did not take into consideration about ping. The Friday after the astrology skills came out, I immediately started work on getting Astral Reave to Dan 3 to record a video, but I ran into a problem. No matter what I did in the test, I was only getting to a score of 9k, 9.5k if I was lucky. This Dan test I was doing on a live stream with another person in the VC with me, Perigence. Someone in chat gave me a recommendation of trying out exit lag to streamline my connection and reduce my ping, since I was on the East Coast. And after getting that set up, all of a sudden, the first test I did after installing exit lag, I was just shy of 11k points. This was infuriating. I actually had to walk away for a minute because of how bad this was. But even then, after 147 tries, I still could not complete it. I had exit lag, got the NTU thing on the wiki set it up, was doing whatever I could to make sure that Astral Reave was used on the first possible frame, but I could not get past 11,600 points. Even on the best run I had, it did not work out. After all this, anyone who asked me when the video was going to come out for Astral Reave, I had to ask them if they were from the West Coast, East Coast, or somewhere in between or further away. Any that answered they were on the West Coast, I told them that it would just take more practice, and maybe even just set up exit lag to reduce their ping. Anyone that were in between, I just told them to set up exit lag in practice. Anyone from the East Coast or further though, I had to tell them to wait for a nerf for this test. Which, let me tell you, it really feels awful to tell a person that they can't do something because of where they are from. Now, as you can see, I did manage to complete the test file. I had to set up some extra settings within exit lag to reduce my ping just enough to complete this test. I had a 6-second left on the clock and a 4-second left completion on both my tests, respectively. I'll get a video up eventually for Mabinogi players on what settings to set to help. And besides all of this, there was still a need for some luck. Critical hits are a huge factor for the points in this test. One way to get around this is to constantly rotate which enemy you are targeting, so that you can lower the amount of times you hit an enemy that you didn't crit with a crit deferred kill. So, based on an extremely rough guesstimation, you would need around 50 to 65% of your attacks to crit to complete this test regularly if you're on the East Coast. And that's without really setting up anything. You need 50 to 65%. So, for this next part of this video, I want to give Nexon some forms of recommendation. Yes, the test is bad, but it can be tweaked a little, just a little, to make it doable while still being difficult. And as an added bonus, it is things that we have seen in other Dan tests. One recommendation is one that a lot of people have said on the Mabby Discord, is getting points for damage. To make this one balanced, setting it to a damage divided by 30 would work. This way, the people who were stuck at 9k points have a chance to get to 12k, but it wouldn't just be given to them. On average, getting to 9k points takes around, well, I would say 117 uses of the skill, which would just barely give about 3k points with damage divided by 30. We can also set it to divide by 40, which would make it more difficult, but still technically doable. Another recommendation I've been seeing is to have the servants be worth more points, make them bonus mob, and give bonus points for killing them. The servants already are a nightmare within this test, either requiring 4 to 5 hits to kill with no crits, 3 hits to kill with a single crit, or 2 hits with both being crits. Already this mob takes up about 2.5 the amount of hits to kill than it takes to kill a goblin hunter. Giving them an extra 50 to 100 points per kill would make this test doable but still have some difficulty. Hell, even to keep it consistent, just have it give us an extra 70 points. But at this point, the Dan test should have been playing on the side, so let me give you some tips on how to complete this test. One strategy is to constantly be rotating your targets, as I said earlier. And what I mean by this is that if you hit a mob and it doesn't crit, hit another mob and just repeat. The only times that you focus on killing a mob is a goblin hunter that is targeting you or a servant that is running up to you. Otherwise, just keep hitting things and rotate who you're targeting. Another thing that I do is to not bother at all with using control to target enemies. I find it easier to react without control targeting, as you will see a couple of times within the test video. Another strategy is to set your orbital pulse down to rank A specifically. Setting it to rank A ensures that even if it crits, it will only bring the Goblin Hunter HP down just enough to one-shot them with Astral Reave. You would start the wave off with hitting Orbital Pulse just to hit whatever is around you, and when it is off cooldown, only use it if you are close enough to a group of golems to lower their HP. If they are spread out, it is not worth using. If you are too far away, it is not worth using. When I was trying this, it did get me a consistent score of 11k, but my ping was an issue for just gaining that last 400. And that is really all I can say about this Dan test. At the moment, it needs to be nerfed. If it doesn't get nerfed, it is still doable for people on the East Coast, but requires a lot of outside programs to make it work. If this video has at all helped you, please feel free to leave a comment with the remaining time you had for your test. I want to know how well you all did. Also, I do plan on making several more Dan test videos here in the near future. I still have the rest of the overview videos to make, and I do plan on making 2 Dan test tier videos soon. There is going to be a Dan tier test. Wow. Dan test tier list based on the difficulty of the test, and a video based on how fun the test is. Alright. Well, hey, thank you all, and have a good one.